we have the means to limit climate change and build a better future.
The UN International Panel on Climate Change says we are hurtling toward the day when climate change could be irreversible.
In the 19th century, Chicago emerged as the production capital of the Midwest. Unfortunately, the city's industrial prosperity has been detrimental to the environment. Since its genesis as a manufacturing powerhouse, Chicago has produced mass amounts of pollution. As time has passed, the city's air quality has continued to deteriorate. The American Lung Association's State of the Air 2014 ranked Chicago as the 14th most polluted city.
Initially, Chicago's factories manufactured their goods along the river, which they used as a receptacle for industrial waste. This polluted water funneled into Lake Michigan, contaminating the city's water supply. City's residents suffered grievously from these unsanitary conditions. In 1900, Chicago successfully reversed the river, sending the refuse of factories elsewhere. While the city's immediate concern of toxic waste was resolved, air pollution created by mass production continues to be injurious to the environment on a global scale.
Another contributing factor to air quality are the greenhouse gases, which are produced by burning fossil fuels for heat, generating electricity, and through using many modes of transportation, including cars. CO2 is the main greenhouse gas that is released into the atmosphere that causes the temperature to rise. Since 1980, Chicago's average temperature has increased approximately 2.6 degrees due to the release of greenhouse gases. In 2005, 36.2 million metric tons of greenhouse gases were emitted in Chicago, making the average amount per person 12.7 tons per year.
Everyone knows that the traffic in Chicago can get overwhelming and often results in the idling in the streets. Idling in your car for 10 minutes a day produces 1/4 ton of CO2 emissions in a year. Over 2 million people in Chicago own cars, and many of them use it on a daily basis. Together, these cars idling produce more than 500,000 tons of CO2 per year. These high CO2 levels are increasing the temperature of the city and contributing to the increasing temperature across the world.
Welcome to Brazil.
The high temperatures caused by greenhouse gases lead to heavy rains and snow, which pose a threat to transportation, infrastructure, and safety in the city. To accommodate for the harsh weather conditions, the city has created a watershed plan to store the extra water from the harsh weather. The city has also created the Chicago Climate Action Plan that aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 25% by 2020 and 80% by 2050.
Anytime we're reducing the electricity that we're pulling from any of our outlets or from any light sources or any heating and air conditioning sources, anytime we are converting our buildings so that way they're better insulated, those are things that are going to have an impact on improving where we are from a climate change standpoint and just reducing our carbon footprint.
Another way to reduce the amount of greenhouse gas the city is emitting into the air is to reduce the amount of garbage that residents are producing. As garbage in the landfills decomposes, it releases methane and other greenhouse gas into the air. As of 2012, residents were producing over 6 times the amount of garbage that was produced in 1910.
In order to combat this issue, the city has made a big push for recycling. In 2007, Mayor Rahm Emanuel set up a blue cart recycling program to provide each household with recycling bins. Materials are collected and then taken to a city-approved recycling center where they are sorted into separate materials and then delivered to manufacturers who reuse the materials to make new products.
Chicago is making a concerted effort to become more environmentally conscious through recycling, reducing greenhouse gases, and providing more efficient public transportation. However, there are still many obstacles that the city faces.
What programs and policies are in place in Chicago that successfully address climate change? I don't believe there are many, if any.
Because there are currently no programs to directly combat climate change in Chicago, it's up to the individuals to take charge of the city.
From what we have gathered by interviewing our peers, the main reason people are reluctant to help the environment is because they do not believe their individual contribution will have any effect.
You'll make the smallest indent. In the United States compared to like China and other countries, like our release of carbon is nothing compared to them. So like what are we really doing?
Yes, Chicago is a big city with a big problem that requires a big solution. But doesn't every solution have to start somewhere?
To make Chicago a greener city, in the summer I bike everywhere, so like I'll bike to the bus that takes me downtown. It's like a 10-minute bus ride, and then from there I'll bike like all the way to Lincoln Park, like to Wicker, like I bike everywhere because biking is fun. Sometimes cars try to hit me, but you know, I ain't with it, so it's okay.
I love to recycle and conserve energy. I hate leaving the lights on, and I always clean up after my dog's poop. I do not litter, and I pick up other people's litter even.
I use reusable lunch box every day.
I use a reusable water bottle.
And I use paper bags and recyclable bags.
2.7 million people call Chicago home. And unless each and every one of those people starts being conscious of how they're impacting the land and climate, there will be serious consequences in the future.